Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at Chapter 19 of Peopleware, which is called Happy to Be Here, and is about turnover. What it is, why it's important to mitigate, and what you can do to address it. Here are two questions addressed by the authors. What has your company's annual turnover been the past few years? And how much does it cost to replace someone who leaves? Those are hard questions and you probably don't know the answer. That's alright, people try to avoid thinking about it. The authors present the readers with some startling statistics about turnover and how much it costs to hire people. Turnover tends to be somewhere between 33 and 80% per year, which implies that a given employee's tenure will be something like 15 to 36 months. It also takes a few months for a new hire to get to his most productive zone and costs a month or two of employee time to select a candidate to be hired. As a result, the authors suggest that the cost of replacing someone who leaves is 4.5 to 5 months of pay, or in other words, about 20% of the average 2 years that she'll be on the job. Now these are all averages, but it's worth noting that there are also wild variations, even in the same industry, and that peer competitors would probably experience an order of magnitude difference in turnover versus you and other peers. So the time and dollar cost of turnover is somewhat murky, but at least measurable in some sense, in the senses that we talked about a minute ago. There's a hidden cost too, however, and that is that when people see high turnover in their organizations, they internalize it and tend to take shorter-term viewpoints for their own work. When management has a short-term viewpoint, they won't be making investment decisions to build an organization in the long term, but will rather prioritize goals for the quarter or year at the expense of the long-term health of the organization. Now, one way to keep people in the company is to promote them quickly, but this comes with its own downside, which is that of inexperienced managers. That is, managers who are very young and don't have the individual contributor domain knowledge accrued over the course of time to necessarily be competent leaders of their teams. Intuitively, it seems like there would be value in promoting people early and giving them the opportunity to progress through the ranks of management. But this has the secondarily perverse outcome that organizations will end up having a lot of junior individual contributors and even more middle management flailing around competing for the attention of upper management. Instead, the authors suggest that longer-term thinking companies should only promote their employees after several years of individual contributor work. Let's think about why people leave. There are a few reasons that stand out. First is a mentality of just passing through. If someone is just passing through, he won't develop relationships or even see a need to really be mentally or emotionally invested in the business outcomes. Second is a feeling of disposability. If people are in fact as interchangeable as managers would like to believe, then what's the point of trying to thrive or even stand out and to stay for the long term? And the third reason is that a sense of loyalty would be ludicrous. Why be loyal to an organization that doesn't value you any more or differently than a cog in its machine? So what's the solution to all this? Is there a way to encourage people to stay? There are two things that are crucial to accomplish this goal. The first commonality observed by the authors as they helped organizations with low turnover is that there was a widespread preoccupation with being the best. The best, whoever that may be, and however that is defined, it was wanted explicitly and worked for intentionally, and that was a value shared amongst colleagues through the team and through the organization as a whole. After all, if you're the best and work among the best, wouldn't it be insane to try to work somewhere else? Of course it would, and so you'd stay. The second commonality is that of investing in training employees. It is 100% guaranteed that if you use people and then fire them and then hire new people who already have the skill set that you require, it's cheaper than trying to take employees with one skill set and train them to do different roles. But that is short-term thinking, and it causes turnover purposely initiated by you in the best case scenario of you letting people go. And you incur all those costs that we talked about before. So this is short-term thinking at its worst, and certainly shooting yourself in the foot long-term. Companies who invest in their people's growth will engender loyalty and a feeling of being valued, which will be reciprocated, and that's something that you have to earn over the course of time. It's neither cheap nor expedient, but it's a decision made with the long run in mind. That's all for this video. I hope you liked it and found it thought-provoking, and I'll see you all in the next one.